Hola estudiantes, I apologize in advance. This video is going to be a little bit longer than I usually like to make them, but we have a really big topic today, double object pronouns. Now if you struggle with direct object pronouns, I want you to listen closely because I'm going to be reviewing direct object pronouns, reviewing indirect object pronouns, and then we're going to actually combine them together, okay? So, sounds like a lot, but we can do it. So, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. So first a review. I call direct object pronouns DOPS, and I call indirect object pronouns IDOPS. Okay, so if you see those words in this, that's what I'm referring to. Both of them go before the conjugated verb, and I will show you examples of that as we go through this. All right, start with direct object pronouns. This should sound familiar. They answer the questions whom or what about the verb. These questions are really important, especially in figuring out how to do double object pronouns. So, our direct object pronouns, me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, las. Direct object pronouns replace the direct object noun, and they go before the conjugated verb. Let's do an example. Veo a la profesora. Ask yourself, remember our questions are whom or what, okay? Whom or what? Veo means I see. I see whom? La profesora. What can I replace la profesora with? La. Where do I put my direct object pronoun? Before the conjugated verb. La veo. There's my answer. Pablo tiene el libro. Pablo has what? The book. What can I replace el libro with? Which direct object pronoun? Lo. It's masculine and it's singular. Lo. And I put it before the conjugated verb. Pablo lo tiene. Here are two examples. If you're following along with me with your notes out, you can go ahead and try them on your own right now. Pause me if you want. Excuse my, sickness. Yo tengo el pasaporte. I have what? El pasaporte. What direct object pronoun can we replace that with? Lo. Remember, for people, we can use any of these. But for things, we're only going to use these four at the bottom. Where do I put the lo? Before the conjugated verb. Yo lo tengo. Remember, we don't need this anymore because we've replaced it. Nosotros cocinamos los pollos. We cook what? The chickens. What can I replace los pollos with? Los. Where do I put it? Before the conjugated verb. All right, that's pretty messy. Here's what your answer should look like. Yo lo tengo. I have it. Nosotros los cocinamos. We cook them. Remember, when an infinitive, and by infinitive I mean a verb that's not conjugated, okay? Infinitives always end in AR, ER, IR. Comer is an infinitive. When an infinitive follows a conjugated verb, so in this sentence, voy is conjugated, comer is not. The direct object pronoun can be placed before the conjugated verb, as you can see in this example, no lo voy a comer hoy, or attached to the infinitive, no voy a comer lo hoy. If this is confusing to you, you can make it a habit of just always putting it before the conjugated verb and you'll always be right. But the benefit of doing it this way is that it goes in the order that we think of it in English. I'm not going to eat it versus I'm not going to eat it. It's up to you, really, how you do it, just as long as you do it correctly. All right, indirect object pronouns. You guys did this in semester 1, and the indirect object pronouns are similar to the direct object pronouns with the exception of these two, okay? Me, te, le, nos, os, les. They go before conjugated verbs. For example, me gusta, okay? That's an indirect object pronoun. Notice, before the conjugated verb, same as direct object pronouns. All right, with indirect object pronouns, these can either accompany the noun it modifies or replace it. This is different, okay? Direct object pronouns always replace, but we can accompany with indirect object pronouns as well. So here's an example of both. Mom gives the money to Jose and Ana, okay? Remember our questions? To whom or for whom? All right, Mom gives the money to whom? Jose and Ana, okay? In this case, we put the lace before the conjugated verb, but we left Jose and Ana there to clarify. This is who she's giving it to, okay? But if we wanted to replace Jose and Ana and just say Mom gives them the money, get rid of it. Mama les da el dinero. Either way is correct. Let's do an example. I give my dog to you when I go on vacation. Ask yourself, I give my dog to whom? To you. My indirect object pronoun is going to be te. In this case, let's accompany the verb. So, yo, let me conjugate dar to the yo form. Doy mi perro. All right. A ti, cuando voy de vacaciones. Where do I put my te? Before the conjugated verb. Here's doy. Te doy mi perro a ti. Do you see how they're kind of connected? They match. All right, this is going to sound familiar. When there's an infinitive after the conjugated verb, the indirect object pronoun can go before the conjugated verb, like here, or attached to the infinitive. Same thing as direct object pronouns, all right? Okay, I'm done with the review now. How do we use them in the same sentence? How do we use both in the same sentence? The indirect object pronoun always comes first. You can think of it as people before things. You should always put people before things. Indirect object pronouns are usually people, okay? So people before things. The indirect object pronoun always comes first. Here's an example. The waitress brought the dessert to Juan and I, okay? We want to say the waitress brought it to us, okay? To who brought it, the dessert to who? To Juan and I. Nos. What brought what? The dessert. Lo. Okay? Both of them are before the conjugated verb. We put the indirect object pronoun first and the direct object pronoun followed. The waitress brought us it. It looks complicated. It takes some practice, but you'll get it down with some practice. All right. When a conjugated verb appears with an infinitive, same thing I keep saying, the pronouns can either go before the conjugated verb, like here, or attach to the infinitive, like here. You can also attach them to ando and yendo endings, okay? Again, before the conjugated verb here, attached here. But when you attach pronouns, you have to add an accent to the stressed vowel. So you have to think, okay, pidiendo melos. Where is the accent? Where do I hear the stressed vowel? Here's the accent, okay? So you need to add an accent if you're gonna attach the two pronouns, all right? Okay, this is the last of it, okay? when both indirect and direct object pronouns begin with L. Okay? Because if you remember, okay, here are our direct object pronouns, lo, la, los, las. Our indirect object pronouns, lay, lace, okay? When they both begin with L, when you're using an indirect object pronoun and an indirect object pronoun that both begin with L. The first one, okay, the indirect object pronoun changes to say, okay? So if we look at our list of indirect object pronouns, these two change to say when used with lo, la, los, or las. Okay? Le doy la propina a la camarera. I give the tip to the waitress. I want to say I give it to her. Remember, people before things, so to who? To the waitress, okay? Le. Give what? The tip. La. So we would normally think, okay, le is an indirect object pronoun, la is a direct object pronoun, doy. But we don't do it that way. We have to change that le to a say. Say, la, doy. Okay? You can think of it as, you can't lay low, but you can say low. I don't know, just a little something I was taught while I was in high school. All right, I know that this was a lot, and I know that I only assigned you one of the book activities for this week that uses double object pronouns, but you're going to see more in the workbook next week. I'm going to pull up our book real quick. Here is our online book, and if I go into it, all right, I am going to go to page, I know this is out of your screen, but at the bottom, I'm going to type in page 247. And when I get to this page, I want you to look, I'm sorry. I want you to look at the bottom here. Down here. I know that this is small, and I apologize. But if you look at these buttons here, these are really important. You have tutorials you can play. You can listen to somebody else explain this. Or you have here review and practice. If you click on that, it's going to give you a practice quiz. And take a look at these questions, okay? Le mandaste el email a Marta. You can actually practice what we just went over, okay? So think, to who? Sent the email to who? To Martha, okay? Le. Sent what? The email, el email. That's our direct object pronoun. Lo. Here we have the lay low problem. So what do we change the lay to? Say. Say lo Monday. All right, so I encourage you to do these practices this week to prepare you for the assignments and the quiz next week. I really hope this helps. I apologize for the long video, and I hope you guys have a really wonderful week. Adios.